In D.C., Republican members of the House will meet with President Obama at the White House. Indiana's Mike Pence says they want the president to include Republican principles in the administration's economic stimulus package.
While we take President Obama at his word that he would like to see a bipartisan bill that brings both Democrat and Republican ideas forward, there's some question whether or not his party on Capitol Hill is willing to do that, but we're hopeful.
Pence also says the Republican plan of fast tax relief now is the right pathway. He calls the Democratic plan slow, massive, and wasteful.
New video tonight of that U.S. Airways flight that landed in the Hudson River. These pictures were taken just after the emergency landing from a security camera on the west side of Manhattan. Captain Chelsea Sullenberger, a Purdue grad, made the heroic plane landing last Thursday shortly after takeoff. Birds had struck the plane, disabling both engines. After landing, one engine went into the river, one remained attached. All passengers and crew were safely rescued. All right, thanks very much, Steve. Imprisoned Geist money manager Marcus Schrenker now denies his wife took part in any financial misdealings. Schrenker sent a letter to state authorities asking them to unfreeze his wife's assets. Michelle Schrenker is still listed as the company's chief financial officer, and her assets were frozen last month. Schrenker is currently in Florida facing federal charges of faking his death in a plane crash in January. He also faces financial charges here in Indiana.
In Kokomo, investigators say a tip led them to a hotel room used to make meth. Police say while they were there, a man and a woman returned to the room located on Essex Drive to pick up their belongings. Police then arrested this pair, Kelsey Sinning and Robert Lewis. Police say the couple was in possession of meth and other drugs. And on the west side, investigators say they found 78 large potted marijuana plants inside a home located on South Iris Avenue. Police say they arrested Timothy Bettis Jr. after finding the drugs and equipment inside his home. Police say they also found 3 firearms there. Officers say they had a search warrant before entering the house.
The recession is prompting a slew of new slang words to emerge. If you consider yourself strapped for cash yet remain style conscious, you may call yourself a recessionista. Ponzimonium is the new name for the fervor caused by scandals like the Madoff Ponzi scheme. And finally, if someone decides to take a vacation by way of furlough, they would be taking a furcation. The recession is also forcing some people to take drastic measures for commodities. The Lafayette Journal and Courier reporting today that a toilet paper caper has been swiping the stock from stalls at the Lafayette Adult Resource Academy. Staff members have noticed up to 20 rolls of toilet paper missing every day. They initially thought this was a prank, but now they blame the recession. The faculty is now keeping extra rolls in offices and classrooms and plan to install locked dispensers in the restroom.
A woman is now in stable condition tonight after being rescued from her overturned vehicle on East 82nd Street in Clear Vista. Chopper 13 was on the scene where the woman's SUV had flipped on its side after a 2-car crash there. The woman remained trapped inside for about 15 minutes before emergency crews were able to free her. She was then transferred to Methodist Hospital. The other driver was checked out at the scene.
Citizens of Daleville bid goodbye to one of its most historic buildings. The Muncie Star-Press reports the building that used to be the Daleville Bank was demolished yesterday. Now, officials say the building was beyond repair and had been vacant for almost a decade. The Daleville Bank moved out due to a collapsing roof, but the building gained its fame when the notorious John Dillinger robbed the bank in July of 1933. Along with the Muncie native, Dillinger got away with $3,500 and a coin collection. No injuries were reported in that holdup, and Dillinger made his usual narrow escape.
Over 100 nominees attended the 2009 Fire, Police, Deputy Sheriff's Awards today. Their Sunrise anchors Bruce Kopp and Julia Moffett, they emceed the event today. Winners receiving awards in 10 different categories. Each nomination is sponsored by corporate and business leaders here in Indianapolis. This marks the 41st year that Indianapolis firefighters, police officers, and sheriff's deputies were honored at this ceremony.
I got paper, girl, the Lamborghini R&B singer Chris Brown now faces 2 felony charges stemming from an argument last month with fellow singer and his girlfriend Rihanna. The LA District Attorney's Office says Brown will plead either guilty or no contest to his assault and criminal threat charges at an arraignment later today. Court documents say Brown could get up to 4 years and 8 months in prison if he's found guilty. He remains free on a $50,000 bond.
And comedian Robin Williams is canceling all of the remaining shows from his current stand-up tour. This includes his performance scheduled at IU on March 26. This news comes after the comedian announced he needs heart surgery. Williams began canceling shows yesterday after having shortness of breath. The 57-year-old will continue, though, his 80-city tour coming up in the fall. One of the most widely sold diet pills is now being pulled from the store shelves after it was linked to a man's death. The makers of Hydroxycut announced today a nationwide recall of that supplement. It also urged dieters to stop using it immediately. FDA reports there is a link between the pill and liver damage and other health problems resulting in the death of that 19-year-old man. Manufacturers of weight loss pills do not need FDA approval before selling them. Hydroxycut accounts for 90% of the diet pill market, selling over 1 million bottles a year.
In consumer news tonight, word of a computer virus that could affect you. Experts are calling the worm Conficker or Down-a-Dup. It goes into your computer through an opening in Microsoft Windows or through a USB flash drive. It then guesses network passwords and ties your computer to a hacker computer. You can fix it, though, by getting Microsoft's recent edition of the malicious software removal tool.
The return of Polaroid. Work is now underway to create a new film that'll work in those old Polaroid cameras. Now, while the company no longer makes the film, former employees and Polaroid fans are trying to bring it back to life. Private donors recently helped purchase the filmmaking equipment. No word yet on whether the film will make it to the market or how much it would cost.
Other news tonight, if you're looking for a fun job this summer, you might be in luck. Kings Island now hiring over 4,000 people for the 2009 season. Job fairs will be held at the park February 14th and 15th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Anyone 15 and older can apply. Positions vary from rides to security to entertainment. Kings Island season begins on April 18th. If you'd like some more information, we have it all for you on our website, WTHR.com, and click on Hot Topics.
A 6th grader is making headlines for her fast fingers. The Muncie Star-Press reports Brianne Fight of Upland racked up over 22,000 text messages. Get this, over just 30 days. Her father says that equals one message every 113 seconds. Brianne says she can type one-handed, even text during dinner. She claims it's easier to text than call her friends. Her father says fortunately he has an unlimited text plan.
Police are now investigating a man they arrested Tuesday night after he climbed a utility pole and couldn't get down. Investigators say Michael Long of Kokomo asked neighbors not to call police, but they called anyway. Officers helped him down and then arrested him on 2 outstanding warrants. Police say they're also investigating him for copper wire thefts in the area. With the slumping economy, many Americans are finding it harder to pay for health care, but there is a way to receive treatment for free. Clinical trials across the country offer free medical care and procedures for those who volunteer. Thousands of those trials exist at any one time, and some of them last for several years. Now, most of them help advance science and medicine while benefiting patients at the same time. We have a link to a list of clinical trials at WTHR.com. Just come to us and click on Hot Topics.
Members of the International Space Station safely evacuated today after space junk nearly hit their craft. NASA says the debris was a small piece of an old spacecraft motor that had floated within 3 miles of the space station. That piece measured less than an inch wide, but experts say it could have caused fatal loss of air pressure had it hit. The 3-person crew moved into an escape capsule while waiting for that space junk to pass by. 11 minutes later, they returned to the station.